guys, welcome back to Actually Adultish. My name is Christina and I'm your host. I'm a holistic health coach and I am the creator of the blog addictedtolovely.com. I'm also the host of another podcast called Straight Up Paleo, which you should definitely check out if you like podcasts. And I'm super excited to be talking with you today. I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. I hope you had a nice, relaxing weekend. I am recording this before Thanksgiving, but I know I'm going to have a great Thanksgiving with my friend Addie, who's coming into town. And I'm sure we will record a podcast while she's here, so that'll probably be up relatively soon. But in the meantime, let's talk about some things, some updates. So now it's Christmas season, which means I give you permission to listen to Christmas music and wear Christmas sweaters every day and watch Christmas movies all day long. So please do that. And definitely check out my blog if you want some yummy Christmassy recipes. I have some great paleo gingerbread men on there, some nice hot cocoa, all of the things. But remember, my brand new ebook, hashtag no sugar, no problems, is live. You should totally pick it up. You can get it on my website or at bit.ly/no sugar, no problems. It's an ebook filled with 30 paleo sweetener-free desserts. So by sweetener-free, I mean sugar-free, but I also mean no sugar replacements. So no stevia, no xylitol, no erythritol, no monk fruit, no bananas, no dates. Totally keto friendly. Most of it's Candida diet friendly. There are low FODMAP options. There are options if you are just low carb, diabetic, all of the things. I just want everybody to be able to enjoy some dessert this holiday season. So hopefully this helps you out if you have to reduce the sugar in your life for any reason. I've got everything from cookies to cakes to mug cakes to smoothies and milkshakes and even some yummy peppermint fudge brownies that are fabulous. So you have plenty of options and there's something in there that everyone will love, I think. So use the code actuallyadultish at checkout if you want 20% off. And again, you can get that on my website, addictedtolovely.com or bit.ly/no sugar, no problems. And I hope you like it. Also, even though it is past Thanksgiving, the ebook that Kaylee Clark and I made, Gratitude, a healthy holiday guide for a paleo Thanksgiving, those recipes and all of the lifestyle content that we have in there is so applicable throughout this entire holiday season. So I definitely recommend you grab that if you haven't already as well. And you can use that same code, actuallyadultish, for 20% off. And you can get that at bit.ly/gratitudehhg or on my website. And all the info is in the show notes. But so many good recipes. But I think that the real winner in that ebook is just all of the lifestyle content talking about how to deal with stress and your mindset and holiday treats and exercise during this season. I know a lot of us struggle with all of that. So check that out. The other thing that I wanted to let you know about is you guys know that I'm obsessed with essential oils. I use them for everything. They have changed my life. And I recently posted to my blog a little essential oils starter guide. And you can find that. I put a tab up at the top of the website, so it's really easy to find. So if you're interested in learning more about that, definitely just head to my website and check that out because I put everything you need to know in there, and I think it's super helpful. So definitely check that out. Also, our giveaway with Simply Organic is still running. You can be one of 3 winners who are going to win their top 3 spices. So those 3 spices are chili powder, garlic powder, and cinnamon. And I love Simply Organic spices. I think everybody can use some more spices in their life, spice up your life. All you have to do to enter is go to our most recent Instagram post and follow us, follow Simply Organic Foods, tag a friend. That giveaway is going to end December 1st, so you've got one more week. Pretty easy to enter, I think. So you should definitely do that. Just a reminder, if you haven't already joined our Facebook group, Actually Adultish Podcast Nation, please do so. And if you want to support the show, you can do that either by shopping through the Amazon link in the show notes or on our website. It doesn't cost you any extra money, but some of the money goes to the show and the production costs. You can also become a patron of the show at patreon.com/actuallyadultish and pledge any amount of money that your heart desires. It can be $1, $5, $10, and that just goes to this show. And I would really appreciate it. Every little bit counts. And it's a season of giving. So I want to be able to keep putting out free content for you guys each week. And that helps me do that. So I think that's all the housekeeping stuff. Today I'm super excited because a dear friend of mine, my mentor in many things, has joined me, Nicole Christensen. She is a senior director at Beautycounter, and many of you know that I became a Beautycounter consultant over a year ago now, and I absolutely adore Beautycounter for so many different reasons. First of all, I love the products, obviously. If you guys follow me, you know that's the majority of what I use for my makeup, my skincare, my hair care, my body care, everything. But I also just love the company, and you guys know that I'm really, really passionate about safer beauty, clean beauty. I'm really passionate about reducing the toxins in our environments because that has affected my own health and it affects so many other people's health, and most of us don't realize it, and it's just a really easy swap to make. So I'm just passionate about the whole movement because Beautycounter is in Washington right now fighting to try and get the beauty industry regulated. And that is really important to me as well. So Nicole is the one who is my Beautycounter mentor, and she's the one who introduced me to Beautycounter, and since has become just a huge inspiration to me in so many things, a life mentor as well, a dear friend. I love her so much, and I wanted to have her on the podcast to just kind of talk about safer beauty and safer personal care products because she's so knowledgeable, and she has done a lot of work herself to help Beautycounter push this movement towards safer products. And you know, she's so relatable, which is why I was drawn to her at the beginning, and I just love her and really appreciate that she took the time to come on here and share a little bit about it. And we also talk about Beautycounter, the company itself, and how it works. And I know a lot of people have different questions about what are these consultants? You know, I don't get how Beautycounter works, all of these things. So we explain everything, and I hope you guys find it interesting and you love it. Also, the sound on this is a little off because my Skype was just not working. I'm sorry, but you'll be fine. Don't worry. It's still an amazing episode with a lot of great information. So I think you guys are going to love it. So without further ado, I'm going to hop in and we'll chat with Nicole. Hi, Nicole.
Hey, Christina. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I am fantastic. I'm thrilled to be here with you today.
I know. I'm so excited to talk to you. You've been on my roster for a long time.
I'm glad I moved to the top.
Yes. So for people who aren't familiar with you, because I'm very familiar with you, why don't you tell my listeners a little bit about yourself?
Hello, listeners. My name is Nicole Christensen, and I live in Chicago, Illinois, although I am originally from California. My background is actually interior design, certified interior designer, and worked for a commercial architecture firm for a lot of years and still do that. I'm obsessed with design and very picky. And for the last 3 years have been a consultant and educator with Beautycounter, and I'm currently a senior director with Beautycounter.
Yes, and that is how we met through Beautycounter. Thank you.
Yes.
So why don't we talk a little bit about how you got started with Beautycounter?
Yeah. Do you literally want to know how I even heard about Beautycounter?
Yeah.
So I originally heard about Beautycounter through Gwyneth Paltrow's blog Goop. And to be honest, I ignored it because she promotes $700 t-shirts. Yeah, that's seriously just not really my world. And then I heard about Beautycounter through Environmental Working Group, which is a really great nonprofit and for any listeners out there that are not familiar with them, and if you're into healthy living, I would highly recommend checking them out. But there was an event in Newport Beach where I was living at the time at a brand new restaurant, free wine, free food. Hello, I'm there. But I really was kind of intrigued. Like, why am I hearing about this company twice in like a month and from like what I thought were kind of two opposite ends of the spectrum? And so I went to this event, and Greg Renfrew, who is the founder of Beautycounter, was speaking. And at that time, I think Beautycounter had been around for maybe a year or two, so still fairly new, or newer than they are now. So they're still, I think, kind of new. But I was just really impacted by her story. It really resonated with me, and I almost felt like she was giving like my story. She was talking about how she had just watched this movie called Fed Up, which is all about sugar and just how sugar is just in everything that we eat and how addicting and really kind of horrible it is for our health. Talking about working out and yoga, eating organic, all these things that I do. And then kind of shared the difference between the European Union and the United States when it comes to personal care products. And I was just blown away. And I was so impressed with the transparency of the company, the look of the products, the feel. And without actually trying any products, I came home that night. And mind you, I left for the event telling my husband that I was going to go to this thing. And I said, if they even asked me to become like a consultant or whatever, because I had all these preconceived notions in my mind of what that meant. And I didn't see myself as a salesperson or whatever. And of course, I came home and said, hey, I think I want to be a consultant with this cool company.
So you were sold basically just because of like the message.
Exactly. I thought it was so cool because what I love about Beautycounter, and maybe we'll get more into this, but we're more than just an eye cream or a foundation. We are really about educating people. There's a crazy issue going on right now, and it's been, overlooked for many years, decades, I would say. And I loved Beautycounter's stance that, one, they were going to kind of break through and really talk about what's going on in the personal care industry, and that they were going to advocate so that no matter where you buy products, your product should be safe. Like we shouldn't even be having this conversation, basically. And so that really resonated with me. And I also saw an opportunity. I was miserable in my job and just not fulfilled, and I was looking for something else. And I saw an opportunity with what I felt is a growing market that I think we're only headed more towards this direction.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I want to dive into like every aspect of what you just said, but I want to kind of back up for a second and talk about, have you always tried to live a healthy life, or like when did you start getting into eating organic and exercising and all of that?
Totally. So my visions of high school, my dad, so sweet, would make our breakfast for us in the morning, which consisted of cornflakes that he would take a spoonful of sugar and sprinkle on top and put a banana on top with non-fat milk.
Oh my gosh. That's like so classic.
So classic, so 90s, and we really thought that was healthy. My entire life, I've actually struggled with seasonal allergies to the point where I've had 2 sinus surgeries and have been on every medicine known to man to try to, alleviate those symptoms. And one year I actually had 3 sinus infections, which if you get a sinus infection kind of in the traditional medical world, they will give you an antibiotic. And so it was 3 rounds of antibiotics. And there was just something about me that was like, this just doesn't feel right. And, I was working out, doing yoga, doing Pilates, whatever, and I love to cook and eat and all of that. Again, in what I would consider like a somewhat healthy way. Like I would eat oatmeal for breakfast, what have you. And anyways, after these 3 sinus infections, I went to a naturopathic doctor because I just really felt like, gosh, am I just doomed to be like miserable for the rest of my life? And she asked me to give up dairy and sugar. And it was really, I cried literally in that appointment. Hello, ice cream, dairy and sugar in one. But it was in that next 2 months that I went cold turkey from sugar and dairy that my allergies went away. And that was life changing. And that really one, opened my eyes up to how sugar isn't everything, and made me look more at my diet and made me see that I could really control my health to some level. And so from that point forward, I feel like I have just had this kind of natural progression towards, what my dad would say, like I'm uber granola-y, to what I think, is just kind of what you and I kind of strive for, of just like being healthy, feeling good about ourselves, no matter what size that is, but just eating clean, eating fresh, eating, organic when we can, trying to reduce our toxic load, and, being active mentally, physically, spiritually, this full circle picture.
Yeah. And so I think that that's pretty common how people find this way of living. It tends to start with a health issue, and then you figure out how much diet affects it. And then, so how did you progress from that to looking into the toxins around you?
Totally. So yeah, this was maybe a year before I heard about like Beautycounter and stuff. But at that same time, I would read a blog post or, maybe talk to a friend or something, and I would start hearing these buzzwords like parabens or phthalates. And, I had no idea what those words were. And so I would, look at something. And again, I've always been someone who cared about the earth and, maybe recycled or like donated to things maybe more so than the average bear. But at that time, I was buying products that had like a tree on them, or they said something about being earth friendly or eco. And so I thought, okay, surely if it's good for the planet, it has all these, graphics and colors that, make me feel like I'm doing something good and saving the rainforest at the same time. This has to be good for me and my skin. And it was really after going through the diet change and seeing, one, how, misinformation there is in our food system. And, they can label, things natural. And you're like, okay, cool. Well, chicken actually should be natural. Why do we have to label that? And, they could put the word natural on a box of Frosted Flakes. And I don't actually think that that's natural. And so, unfortunately, you have to do some sleuthing and detective work to really figure out what is actually what. And so once I started understanding, for example, that the European Union bans about 1,400 ingredients from personal care products, where the United States currently bans 33, I was kind of like, huh? And then I learned that the United States has not passed a major federal law since 1938 governing the personal care industry, and that it's really kind of like the wild, wild west. And it's drastically different even from our food system where, to be an organic carrot or broccoli, you have to have, certain standards, and go through like a third party, approval process. And it's somewhat regulated. Whereas in the personal care industry, there's zero regulation for that term organic. And actually, even more so, what organic means in the food industry just does not mean the same thing in the personal care industry. And so, I feel like maybe I'm taking a long time to answer your question, but it really was a journey. That I would say, really ramped up when I got rid of dairy and sugar. And then over the course of a year, heard these buzzwords, thought I was buying safe products. And then really it was Greg Renfrew and Beautycounter that really opened my eyes, and the environmental working group, because they have a great app called Healthy Living that you can scan a product and it scores it from like 0 to 10. And I always say, 10 is like cancer in a jar and 0 is uber safe. And so that was really great because I could take a look at my products. And what really infuriated me is it's one thing if a company is like, oh, we have this great mascara and they're just talking about the performance or the color or whatever. It's another thing when a company says, oh, we're all natural. And that connotates safety for most of us, or that's good for us. But that company actually doesn't have to back the back of their product with what they put on the front of their product. And so that is really this kind of evolution of saying, okay, wait, just like I had to take a look at, my oatmeal and my chicken stock and a can of chili to make sure that it didn't have sugar in it, which you would think those things wouldn't, but they do in a lot of cases. I realized that I also had to start doing the same thing with personal care products.
Exactly. And I think That's why like the app, the Healthy Living app is so useful because we have to look at ingredients and everything, but I think it's much easier with food. Like you know the buzzwords, but let's be honest, like in makeup, I mean, I don't know all the words I should be looking for in makeup. I just
Absolutely not.
like they're so long.
Yeah. And the thing is some of the ingredients can have crazy names, like hyaluronic acid. I'm sure maybe a lot of people have heard of. It's a fantastic ingredient. It helps like makeup not settle into fine lines and give a more youthful look. It's great, and it's actually safe, but it sounds really unsafe. Whereas maybe something else like perfume or fragrance is a word that a lot of us, I think is like a good word, actually is a really unsafe word when it comes to personal care products. So yeah. And I really got to this point. I mean, if anyone out there has done any sort of diet where you're restricting yourself from gluten or sugar, it's almost a full-time job, and it's like, for me, what I loved about Beautycounter and all of their products meeting this really high echelon of safety, I would actually say we have the most stringent safety screening in the entire industry. Was like that part was done for me. I got other things I want to do than look at the back of my mascara or my foundation each day.
Can you talk a little bit more about why perfume/fragrance doesn't necessarily a good thing to be?
Yeah, absolutely. So fragrance or perfume, if we want to parler français for un momento, or that was, oh gosh, I did even, I think, Espanol there. We're going international, Christina.
Yes,
here.
I love it.
So it is actually protected under copyright law back in like the 1500s or whenever, people were making perfume, and it was, coveted, and they didn't want anyone to know. It was very proprietary. And so today that actually still exists where it's protected under copyright law. So you don't have to disclose what's in it. And most fragrances are made up of hundreds of chemicals. And so it can kind of be a loophole for people. So they could say all organic ingredients, but it's common in ingredient and products to give, a product a scent, and it's quite toxic. Fragrance, especially even when you spray it, you're now inhaling it, let alone it's going on your skin. And just a note, because I don't think we've covered this, because if you're like me prior to knowing all that I know now, I had no idea, because you just don't think of it as an organ, but your skin is actually your largest organ. And it absorbs something like 60% of what you put on it. And what you put on it, that it absorbs that 60%, it gets into your bloodstream in 30 seconds or less. It's pretty crazy. So it really is important that we start looking at this stuff when we're sadly seeing so many health issues on the rise. And so fragrance and perfume is actually one of the easier ones to identify, because we all know what that is. But it's insane. And you can even find unscented lotions that will have fragrance as an ingredient, which is just mind-blowing. So
they also don't have to put all of the ingredients on the back.
They don't. So just again, it's hard for us because none of us lived in 1938 or 48 or 58 or 68 or 78. Maybe some of you even 88. But that was such a long time ago. And just if you can even try to wrap your brain that was the last time that this industry was regulated. So right now there's just zero incentive or motivation for a company to tell you anything. They just don't have to. So, most companies do not spend the time or the effort, or they do it to a level just enough to make you think that it's good for you. Because again, there's a lot of buzzwords right now, because I think more and more of us are becoming aware at varying levels. And so they'll slap a word like all natural or organic. And again, just to maybe drive that point home, but I love to use the example of water and lead. So these are both organic ingredients, water, but is natural and all of that. But water is actually a chemical if you think back to your periodic table. So H2O. And we all know that that's a very safe chemical, while being, organic. Lead, on the other hand, is totally toxic. If you have it in your home, you have to have a hazmat suit to remove it. And it's still totally allowed in personal care products. In fact, it's very common in lipstick, which I think the average woman consumes some gross amount of lipstick in her lifetime, like 700 pounds or something is mind blowing. And shampoo and other products that lead can totally be used today. So, just again, thinking back to 1938 and now we here are, on the cusp of 2018. It's quite insane. And we all use products. I don't care if I always say if you bathe, you use products, even if it's a bar of soap. But most of us use more than just a bar of soap, shampoo, conditioner, deodorant, toothpaste, eyeshadow, foundation, mascara, sunscreen. How many times do you put chapstick on throughout the day or a lip gloss? Do you wash your hands? Do you put lotion on? I mean, it just really adds up. And so by the time we, walk out the front door for the day, we are just sadly, our bodies are just bombarded with chemicals. And even at small doses, these small doses are adding up. And because there's been no regulation of individual ingredients, well, guess what? There's also been no, looking at what happens when these ingredients interact. And we're just starting to see this. It's called like a cumulative load in our systems, where they're bioaccumulating and they're grabbing and attaching one another. And they're really wreaking havoc on our system because a lot of these ingredients, they mimic hormones. And our body can't tell the difference between a synthetic hormone and a real hormone that we produce. And so it's why you're seeing a lot of prepubescent or early onset puberty in younger and younger girls, infertility, breast cancer. It used to be like 1 in 20 women would get breast cancer, and you really had your mom or your grandma had to have breast cancer for you to feel like that might be an issue for you. No more is that the case. It's now 1 in 8 women will get breast cancer. I have a friend who is battling breast cancer right now. She's 35. She was actually pregnant and had to deliver the baby early so that she could start her chemo treatments and had zero family history. But she's talking to me now, and we're working on getting her safer products because in that whole course, she really started to become aware of, as you said, Christina, it often takes a health issue, and I think it's absolutely ridiculous that it took my friend getting breast cancer for her to become aware that there's chemicals and toxic ingredients in the products she uses day after day and, uses on her children. So, sorry, I feel like I just kind of went off on a tangent there, but this is just such important information. And I'm not saying that your eye cream is causing you cancer necessarily, but I just think that there's this huge piece of the puzzle that we haven't been looking at. And this is something we can totally control. And Beautycounter is really proving that you can make awesome, high-performing products that are safe. I mean, we have our Never list of 1,700 ingredients. So we took the EU's 1,400, added to that, that we will never use. We have a 5-step screening process. And, this is just a no-brainer. So.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I think that I feel like we're watching our world slowly start to become more aware. And I feel like, for example, people are much more aware now of how diet is impacting them, and they're addressing that. But what I'm seeing, I'm like, okay, you're addressing diet, and that's a huge piece of the puzzle, but that's not going to solve everything. Like, if you are talking about living a non-toxic life and eating whole foods, that's great. But like, if you're still filling your home and putting these things on your body that are toxic, it's going into your skin. And I mean, for me, that was my big wake-up call because I had transformed my diet. I couldn't have been eating any cleaner, and I was still having health issues. And I was still having symptoms of like from gluten, and I couldn't figure out what it was from. And then I finally figured out it was from my lip products. And when I got rid of like my lip products, then all of those symptoms went away. But then when I was getting like really in-depth blood work for a while, and my doctor was like, what products do you use on your skin? And I was like, I mean, I don't know, just, my CVS makeup, my stuff from Sephora. Right. He's like, you have such high toxic load in your body. He's like, you need to fix your personal care products. And like, most doctors would never say that, but I was seeing a functional medicine doctor, it's like, And it
Yeah,
wasn't...
you were very fortunate that your doctor was aware enough to mention that.
Exactly. And that was, like, what, like, seeing that on the page really motivated me. And I agree. It's like, don't wait for a diagnosis of something. And like you said, it's easy swaps, but I just feel like it kind of kills me because I'm like, this is such an easy piece of the puzzle to fix to improve your life. And this is another thing that I want to kind of stress because, I mean, the main thing that attracted to me about Beautycounter at the beginning was that because I wanted to switch all my products over, but it was really hard for me because everything I tried that was safe according to EWG up to that point, like, it was safe, but it wasn't working. And you know me,
Totally.
I'm a beauty junkie. Like, you know me. Like, and I was like, well, I don't want to give up my mascara. You know, like, I'm not going to... Yeah. I couldn't do that. Or, like, this lipstick doesn't stay on. Like, I don't like the color. Like, it's natural, but, you know, so I felt like I had to pick between a toxic product and, you know, performance. And then when I started trying Beautycounter, I mean, you know, I freaked out because I was like, wait, this is better than my toxic products anyways. And it's safe. So why would I not switch? You know?
Exactly. No, I love that. And I love that that was really when Beautycounter started. It was that 2-pillar approach. She was like, I know I want safe products, but I also want to feel and look great, you know, and I'm not sacrificing that. And, you know, we're really at Beautycounter saying we as women should not have to sacrifice our health in the name of beauty anymore. And, you know, even the name Beautycounter is kind of a nod to, one, we want to counter the beauty industry, but also just as women, we want to go to a beauty counter. We want to be made up. We want to feel good to whatever level that is for you. You know, for some people, it might just be a tinted moisturizer. To other people, doing the full-on cat eye and, you know, big red lips. And that's great, you know, but yeah, absolutely. I just, these are things that we're using day in, day out. And, it is something that we all really need to become aware of, because it is wreaking havoc on our systems. But the really cool thing is, to your point, I think Beautycounter is really pushing that cutting edge, you know, performance level. And Christy Coleman, who is a very famous celebrity makeup artist, is, you know, really the brainchild behind all of our products. And, you know, she basically said, yeah, I'll work with you, but these products have to work for me and my clients on the red carpet, you know? And it's like, okay, well, I guess if it's good enough for the red carpet, it's good enough for me.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, and we've won 3 Best of Beauty awards from Allure magazine for our Dew Skin Tinted Moisturizer with SPF 20, for our mascara, and for one of our lip sheers, which is really exciting. To get that award is awesome.
Yeah, no, it's so impressive. And I mean, I'm obsessed with all the products, so... But I think that I just can't stress enough, because it kills me when people feel like, they're like, I've done everything, my diet's great, but they haven't addressed this piece of the puzzle. This is always, I feel like, the forgotten piece of the puzzle.
Yeah. So, and that's why we really are a movement, and why we even sell our products the way we sell, because there's a story here, and that story gets lost if it's just on a shelf of a store. But when we as women can band together and we can talk and we can share, we can become a really loud voice for change. And so, you know, I love that, you know, you wanted to chat with me today, because this is such an important piece of the puzzle. And so for women that are listening, and men, you know, because again, even men use products, even though they don't like to admit it. Yeah.
Everyone watches their hair, I hope.
Exactly. If you're washing your hair, you are using products. But that this is how we can help educate people and get this. So hopefully that this is a piece of the puzzle that isn't forgotten anymore, and really make a difference. And that's, you know, why we even go to Washington, D.C. level, because we really just feel that whether, you know, we long for the day that if you buy your shampoo, you know, from Target, from your hairstylist, or from, you know, a Beautycounter consultant, it should just be safe for you. But currently it is just not the case.
Yeah, really, really disappointing. And I mean, I'm happy it works, because there are a lot of companies that, for example, I tried natural skincare, right? But with like 4 pure ingredients, and I'm still having skin issues. And then
Yeah.
I actually got Beautycounter products that worked and changed my life. But another thing I want to talk about is, and what I wanted to mention was, I mean, I think people are also becoming more aware of, there are all these issues with birth control, hormonal birth control for women, and people are kind of becoming more savvy to the fact that it might be better for them not to just hop on the pill. And why? Because the idea of putting these hormones in your body, it's the same thing with your personal, with your personal care products. Like, if you are somebody who feels like you shouldn't be on the pill for those reasons, like, you also shouldn't be putting things on your skin that are also endocrine disruptors and hormone disruptors. I don't think people make that connection.
Right.
So, can we talk more about kind of some of the stats and some of the effects? Like, what about with, like, births?
So what they're finding, what's really interesting, so there's skeptics with everything, and for good reason, right? We should question, we should acquire more knowledge and make sure we have the truth. And so, the skeptic out there might say, well, how do I phrase this? But I guess, that there's a way that you can basically not have any toxics or what have you, or like what the ingredients, these products that you're putting on your skin, it's not doing anything. So they tested the umbilical cord of a baby. So, right, a baby in the mother's womb, that umbilical cord has never been in the outside environment. So never, had any hairspray sprayed near it, or perfume, or any personal care products, right? Just swimming inside of mama's belly. And they have found hundreds of chemicals inside of the umbilical cord, because whatever mom is doing, baby is getting. And so this babies are being born basically pre-polluted. And that, I think, is a really eye-opening thing to think about. And so whether or not you are pregnant, whatever it is that you are putting on, or in your body, it is living inside of you. And if you should get pregnant one day, you're going to give whatever that is to your child. And so, even babies are coming into the world with, basically like a few steps behind, because they're not coming in as clean and pure as we once thought.
Yeah, I think that's so powerful. And that when I read that, I was like, that scared me, honestly. So another thing I want to talk about is, like, can we talk more about Beautycounter's process of saying something's okay? Our regulation process?
Yeah. So I kind of mentioned it a minute ago, but we are all about our never list. So these ingredients that we will never use. We took, the European Union has 1,400 ingredients that they have banned or restricted from products. So we took that. Canada has restricted about 600 ingredients. And some of these overlap, of course, but we took those. The U.S., we took those 33 that we banned. Got those on the list. Yeah, woohoo! And we actually have added to that to be about 1,700. We actually used to be 1,500, and we've added ingredients to that we are like, no, these are not good, and we're not going to use. So we are at we're now at 1,700, and that list is obviously open to growing. 80% of the ingredients out on the marketplace right now for the personal care industry have never been tested for safety. So basically, our ingredient selection process is a 5-step process. So number one, it's ban intentionally. It's that never list of really what goes beyond most companies' list of ingredients that they do not use. We have, our 1,700 that we will never use. Step 2 is really screening rigorously. Every potential ingredient is screened for safety. We look for information on specific hazards like cancer, developmental toxicity, hormone disruption, and we use many sources to figure that information out, be it industry, academia. We partnered with UC Berkeley in California to do studies of ingredients, government bodies and nonprofit health organizations, and just, consulting with scientists and industry leaders. to reduce exposure to toxic chemicals and, develop safer chemicals. Like I mentioned, there are some safe chemicals out there. Our third step is just to learn constantly. There are major data gaps on many cosmetic ingredients, and companies are then allowed to make their own judgments about safety. And so we don't assume at Beautycounter that the absence of data means a chemical is safe. It just simply means we don't know the potential health impacts. So let's err on the side of caution and not use it or implement a study to determine if it's safe or not. Number 4 step would be sourcing responsibly. So, we strive to choose the best available ingredients. And over 80% of our ingredients are organic, natural, or plant-derived, I should say, because those ingredients are generally safe, but there are other synthetic ingredients that we feel are safe. So again, we're not about all organic or all natural. We're about safety. And we, aim to source those ingredients from sustainable, non-GMO suppliers, and, supporting the U.S. economy when possible. We're really trying to get everything made in the United States. But what's been crazy is not all labs in the United States want to meet our standards. And that's really what's pushed us overseas in some instances, specifically with our makeup. We wanted zero detection of heavy metals, and we could not find a lab in the United States that wanted to meet that. So if you're buying makeup that's made in the U.S., guess what? They have heavy metals in their makeup, which is really crazy. And then our 5th step is just share transparently. We always say we are about progress, not perfection. We are doing the best that we can with the information that we have. And the minute we learn something better or differently, we respond to that. And that's something I also really respect about Beautycounter, that we're willing to change our formulations. We're not just going to sit back and say, look, we spent a ton of money and time and research into developing this, so once it is what it is. No, we go way beyond that. And we are constantly screening to make sure that these products are truly safer for each and every one of us.
Yeah. And that was one of the things that I've always been so impressed with when it comes to Beautycounter is they will take something off of the market if there's even a hint of it not being up to their standards. Like, there have been so many best-selling top-selling products that they've removed because they just don't want to risk it. And, what other company would do that?
I know. I really love that. And again, just a reminder for listeners, because it's so easy to kind of to think of what happens in the food industry as similar in the personal care industry. But, if your spinach gets E. coli or, Chipotle had the salmonella outbreak, it's on every news station. You can go get a refund at these places, right? That doesn't happen in the personal care industry. They don't have to tell you anything. In fact, if anyone's been up late at night and seen the Wen hair care commercials, they're in a major lawsuit because women are losing their hair. And this has been brought to the FDA. They are aware that there are, harmful ingredients in this product that is causing women to lose hair. You can still buy Wen hair care today, even though it's known to have adverse health effects. So you really... It's really sad. But yeah, my favorite one was Beautycounter. Our eyebrow pencil and eyeliners, we had said they were vegan. And we found out that there was a trace, like almost invisible amount of fish oil in the pencils. And so we removed them. Mm-hmm. And we went back and said, okay, what do we have to do? Because we are saying that this is vegan. So we really walk the walk. And I can say after now being with the company for 3 years that is really what I respect the most about Beautycounter, is that just complete transparency and always coming forward and saying, look, this is what's going on and we want to do better because you deserve better. We deserve better.
Yeah. No, I love the transparency. And I also want to talk a little bit more about it's not just that they're putting out these amazing products, but these women are in Washington. So yeah. I would love to talk more about the work that the company is actually doing.
Absolutely. And I get to gloat for a minute because I actually got to go to Washington, D.C. with Beautycounter. So fantastic. So we have Lindsay Dahl, a part of Beautycounter headquarters, and she is basically our advocate at the Washington, D.C. and policy legislative level. And so we have gone multiple times. We're actually working Senator Dianne Feinstein, and she's out of California, and another one I think out of New Hampshire, Maine. I can't think of her name. Collins. Anyways, they are trying to update these laws. It's not to the level that we would want at Beautycounter, but it's progress. And so we've been really working hard with those senators to bring light to this issue and meeting with Congress. The trip that I got to go on last year was we had 100 meetings in one day with 100 different consultants from all over the United States. And we met with our, representatives for each state that we were from, respectively, there, and really got to chat with them and let them know. And what was just classic was a lot of these, senators and policymakers had no idea. We really were the first to tell them, hey, the shampoo that you're washing your kids with in the bubble bath might actually not be great for them. Tear-free just means that there's a chemical in there that's causing their eyes to be numb. It's not actually a good thing. So we constantly work. We have a number that you can text, which maybe we can look that up and you can announce it at the end of the show. But if you text that number to, text the number, you'll get an email that you can just quickly sign and send. It will automatically send a letter to your representative. Last year, I was living in Oregon, and I met with representatives locally there in Portland, trying to help bring awareness, as well as we've even done things like, I know there's a house cleaning products act that California just passed that Beautycounter was a part of helping that movement. In the state of Oregon, we were influential in getting toxic chemicals out of children's toys. So we really, we're not only looking at personal care industry, we just are globally looking at this toxic burden and how we can play a role in helping bring awareness and advocate for change at this high level. And really, what company is asking for regulation in the market that they serve?
Exactly.
And that also is, I think, a huge testimony to Beautycounter that we're really showing that regulation can be good, commerce can still happen, profitability can majorly still happen. We've grown like 400%. In the last year, I think is the statistic or something crazy. And we're asking for more regulation, so it's just really quite cool what we're doing and what we're pushing for.
Yeah, no, I'm sure a lot of other makeup companies don't like this, right? Because if there's regulation, then their products are at risk of being pulled off.
Totally. It's a lot for a company to do what we're doing. It takes us so much time to come out with a product because, we have to find these labs that will work with us. We have to look at ingredients that, are safer. So maybe the traditional 5 ingredients that you would start with to make a moisturizer, we have to kind of move to the side and start from scratch. So we're really inventing something every single time we come to the market with a product. And so I get why other companies don't maybe want to do that because they took the time and now they just want to sit back and, reap and profit. But another thing, I don't think we've mentioned, but at Beautycounter, we're also a certified B Corporation, which stands for benefit. And that just means we have a triple bottom line, which is people, planet, and profit. Patagonia, Ben & Jerry's, those are other certified B corporations, for example. And it's just really great because it just, again, yes, we want to be a profitable company, but we want to care about people and planet along the way because guess what? If we don't have healthy people and a healthy planet, what is the point that we're doing all this for? So.
Yeah, no, I love that. And I don't think people never really think about the B Corp, and I didn't even know about that until I joined Beautycounter. I was like, I don't know what a B Corp is, and I didn't realize how difficult it is to become a B Corp.
Yeah.
So that is so impressive. And I'm so proud of the company. I want to talk about, I want to explain to people the direct retail aspect of it, because I feel like people get turned off from direct retail. I mean, let's just
Totally.
be honest, you know? So,
Oh yeah, I mean, that's like I said, when I went to the first thing and I told my husband, if this is even some sort of MLM or pyramid scheme, I want nothing to do with that. So what's really cool is Beautycounter is actually direct retail, which is totally different. So your traditional companies that sell through consultants are what's called direct sales. Beautycounter did their model differently, just like we do everything else a little differently. And so what direct retail means is that we're a multi-channel brand. So a client can purchase Beautycounter multiple ways. They can go to beautycounter.com and just purchase product all by themselves and not work with a consultant. They can go to one of our partners like J.Crew or Gwyneth Paltrow's Blog Goop, or last year we had a 9-week limited launch with Target, which was super exciting. We were the first beauty brand that Target ever partnered with. We have a pop-up shop in Nantucket Island, and hint, maybe some future pop-up shops coming. Or they can obviously work with a consultant. So, just like the market is ever changing, we're really pushing the lines on what it looks like to do direct retail, and have coined this new term called direct retail. So that's kind of what that means. It's not a pyramid scheme. It's not, I don't know. It's nothing like I ever thought, and it's been fantastic for me.
Yeah. Well, so why do we use consultants?
Yeah. So again, as we you and I, right, we're having this conversation and we're trying to just get the word out about just products in general and what's going on, right, with your audience. That's why there's consultants, because this really is a movement that needs a voice, and it needs lots of voices. And just like when you have, a great outfit and you're like, oh my gosh, these are the best jeans ever, I want to go tell my best friend. Or, Christina, you've got this great new recipe book with, no sugar. Like, you want to share that with everyone, because so many of us are wanting to have dessert without sugar. So it's like, hallelujah, there's finally something here for us. Likewise, we want to share, when we have this kick-ass mascara that, guess what, is not toxic either. So, and really providing that service, for people. A lot of people, they don't know what products they need. And so as a consultant, we can help guide them as we use the products. We have, a team that we're able to get so much information from, headquarters, obviously, and really provide kind of that concierge service, I think, to our clients, and getting them the best fit for them.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm glad you explained it that way. And it's so funny, learning the different reasons that people become consultants, because some people become consultants just because they're obsessed with the products. Some people literally will become a consultant without even having tried anything. They just love the movement. Me? Yeah, and the message. There are so many different aspects of it. And I mean, yeah, when I was first hearing about it, I was just kind of like, okay, this is weird. Direct retail, like, I don't really. And then as soon as I learned about the company, tried the products, I was like, I don't care. I'm obsessed with this. So, yeah. I mean, also, so let's talk about like what it's like to be a consultant, because that can go many different ways. Like, some women, it's their full-time job. Some women, it's a side thing. I think that it could help people to understand, like, because people will, email me and be like, I'm not sure if this is the right thing for me. So I think it'd be great if we could talk a little bit about the different ways that being a consultant could look in real life.
Absolutely. So it has many different facets, and it really is one of those things, as lots of things are in life. It is what you make of it. What you put in it, you will get out of it. But basically, to become a consultant at Beautycounter, at the let's start is it's $85. For that $85, you get your personal website, which is your ability to now sell and share the product with your network of people. You're able to buy, at that time when you sign up, you can buy one of our 3 startup packages that get you the product so that you can start, using it and sampling it and sharing it with your network again. And it comes at a heavier discount than the normal consultant discount, which is 25%. What I love about Beautycounter, and I, not knowing this, I assumed this was how all companies were that have the similar type model. but have learned that that is drastically not the case. Beautycounter is just super cool, but we don't have to stock product. There's no auto ship or auto renewals. We have a 60-day return policy on everything. So it really, I always think of Beautycounter as kind of like the Nordstrom of just, we want you to be happy. We want you to love the product. So as a consultant, you're not ever feeling this intense pressure of like, I've got 90 eye creams I need to sell in the next month or, whatever it is. So basically you sign up, you get started with some product, you've got your personal website, you work with your mentor, whoever you signed up under. And they help you really figure out what your goals are. Like whenever someone, joins Christina and our team, we always chit chat and find out what is it that you want out of this? Do you just want, to make $100 or $200 a month and this just to be this really slow thing? Or are you wanting to just hit the ground running and this to become your full career? For me and my story, I was really a slow progression. When I first started with Beautycounter, I had a full-time, 40-hour plus hour job. And so I just kind of was like, oh, I want this product for myself. I would love a discount.
Yeah.
And I know I had like a small circle of people that probably, trusted my opinion, valued my opinion, and that I could probably sell to a little bit. And so I was just kind of like, we'll see where it goes. What have I got to lose? It was like $85 on product. It's like, okay, worst case scenario, I have product that I'm going to use if I walk away,
Yeah.
So it was kind of like a zero failure, chance of something bad happening or whatever. And then over, the course of that year, I did my full-time job, and just here and there as I had time, I would let people know, hey, I do Beautycounter. Do you want to try product? Do you want to buy from me? And honestly, I was really impressed with what happened. With putting not very much, effort, I was able to make a few $100s each month. And, I kind of, I think earlier mentioned that I was looking for possibly another opportunity. And I remember telling my husband, I said, I think if I focus more on this, I might actually be able to do something with this, because the compensation plan that Beautycounter has is amazing. You make up to 35% off of your orders that you sell to your clients and members. And then if you want to build a team that you mentor, you can make, compensation off of, their sales and their growing businesses as well, which is really exciting. And so I saw potential, and that's, over the course of the years, it just kind of has added up. And so now, some weeks, I'll be honest, I had surgery actually the month of October. I was moving, we bought a new house. I, maybe put 5 hours into my Beautycounter business. Other, times like right now with holidays, it's been crazy busy, which is awesome because we have so many great holiday sets. And so I've been putting a few more hours towards my business. It's just this great thing that, it's flexible, for my life and when I have time for it. And again, you can make it what you want. And as, mentors, we really try to help figure out what's that best fit for you. If this is going to be something that you want to do, let's make it worth your while.
Yeah. And I think it's like really empowering on a bigger level to like, Beautycounter is giving women an opportunity to be their own bosses,
Totally.
So that's another reason I love it. But I mean, we do have to meet like a goal of how much we sell.
Yes. So it's $1,200 over a 6-month period. Mm-hmm. Right? Did I get that right? Yeah.
Which is so doable. People hear that.
It's so doable.
We'll do that so easily. Don't worry.
Yeah. It basically breaks down to about $200 a month. Mm-hmm. And the average Beautycounter order is $110. So that's like 2 orders a month, and your own personal orders can count towards that. So, 4 months you're running low on something, you buy something that goes towards that. I really, again, like I said, when I was doing this, I was working full time, and I have never had an issue meeting this requirement. The people that have issues meeting this requirement are literally not doing anything for their business. If you're not telling people that you sell Beautycounter, guess what? People don't know you sell Beautycounter.
Yeah.
So I don't know how else to make that statement clearer, but to meet those minimum requirements, you work with your mentor and we will help you. If you want to be a Beautycounter consultant, I know Christina, she's a fantastic mentor. She's going to help you meet that requirement because
You're a better mentor.
It is so doable. Well,
mentor.
Hey, we all work together. So when you get Christina, you get me,
Yeah.
you get actually a really great team. So
yeah,
it's totally fun.
And I also want to talk about, I think sometimes a lot of people have heard about Beautycounter through social media. And they think that as a consultant, you need to have a blog or a platform, and that's absolutely not the case at all. So that's part of what I would love for you to speak to, because you don't have a blog, and you run a thriving business. I think
I have 500 followers on Instagram, so I'm, uber not cool.
You are, though, but it just, I want to explain to people, this is an opportunity that's accessible to any and every woman.
It really is. There are people that are, 70 years old that were retired that are having thriving businesses and, making $5,000 plus a month, to, someone like me who, I have no blog. I have a small social media following, that pales in comparison. I'm not an influencer by any means. But I have a voice, and I have friends, and whether you have 5 friends or 50 friends, if you are willing to tell people about what's going on in personal care products, you're not asking anyone to buy something they're not already buying. Mm-hmm. You're just educating them on what's going on in the personal care industry. And, I always say, I never want a pity buy or a pity keep, but if you're running low on your foundation or your shampoo, and you'd like to switch to something safer, I would love for you to give Beautycounter a chance. I don't ever feel like I'm a salesperson. Excuse me. So it just, it really is for anyone. If you're passionate about something, I think you can really actually sell anything, because you're not selling, you're just sharing. Yeah. So you can do that through lots of different ways, and the managing director, my mentor, she's got a thriving business. Managing director is the highest level you can be in Beautycounter. The average managing director makes $10,000 a month. I don't even think she has an Instagram account. She doesn't know what a blog is, I don't think. It's absolutely not a requirement.
Yeah, and mentors help so much and give you so much great advice. And I think one thing that a lot of people forget, and I forgot this at the beginning, was Beautycounter sells so much more than just makeup. My best clients are people who don't even really wear makeup, but they wash their hair and they wash their body and their hands and their children, So it's not It's not just for people who are wearing makeup. Yeah, no.
And hello, Counter Man. We have a whole men's line that sold out in 8 hours. Yeah. Crazy. It's officially launching.
Our launches sell out so fast. It scares me.
I know, it's insane, but I just think it is just really showing how much people want this product. And once someone has tried Beautycounter, I literally got a text message from someone who I had sent some samples to that lives in another state. And all caps text message, I love these products. Yeah. And I sent her a tiny thing of moisturizer, and she just placed an order for 10 different things, based on that one sample that she was just like, yes, I'm into this brand. So yeah,
I was actually talking about that with somebody else this week, talking about how I was talking about their marketing for their product. It's their coffee, and he was just saying, I know that I just have to get someone to try my coffee. That the product speaks for itself. And I was like, that's exactly how I feel about Beautycounter. I don't need to convince you. If you try one thing once, and that was the same with me. How you sent me a sample, and I was like, done, I'm in. Yeah, totally. That charcoal bar a game changer. Yeah, and then I think just the last thing I want to just touch on was one thing that it sounds really corny, but one thing I just love about Beautycounter is I have found such a community. I've never been in a situation where so many women are empowering each other and helping each other. Everybody in the Beautycounter community wants to help each other, and we all want each other to have a thriving business. And I've met so many incredible women through Beautycounter, which is just a side extra, but it's so impressive to me, because I was a little worried, like, I'm going to join this and everybody's going to be competing, and it's not like that at all. Like, I've had friends who are also consultants, like, I ran out of samples that I wanted to send, and she'll mail me a sample so I can send. You know, like, who else does that? Like, people are just so nice, and I've made so many incredible friends and, like, met women like you. Like, you know, I found you, like, you started off my Beautycounter mentor, but you're also just, like, a life mentor, too. You know, and I never would have found you unless we had this common interest, this common goal. You know, I just think that that is such an important part for me.
Yeah. No, I am the exact same way. I can list off 5 people who are not even on my team that are, I mean, such wonderful, dear friends who sent me flowers when I had surgery, who, when I was going, you know, we were all going for this Washington, D.C. incentive, and it looked like I was going to get it. And my friend in Minnesota on a completely different team was texting me every single day, where are you at? I know you can do this. You've got this, you know, cheering me on for something that she too wanted. And I think it's because we are so much bigger than ourselves. We really are this movement. And this, you know, all of us, sadly, it is so sad, but all of us on some level, if it's not us personally, it's a friend or a family member that we know has been affected by some sort of health issue. And so we're really linking arms here, yes, to grow a thriving personal business for Christina Rice or for Nicole Christensen, but collectively, we're trying to really create this change, this movement for better beauty. And, you know, that's why, no, we are not an MLM. We are not direct sales. You know, we are a kick-ass company that you can totally be proud of to represent, and have a thriving business at your, you know, pace, your flexibility, your freedom, and just know that you are representing an amazing product and company that's just trying to do better, not only for, you know, women, but just humankind. I feel like it's just a really great culture to be a part of.
Yeah, I love it. Are there any other, like, common misconceptions or, like, common questions you get asked that you just wanted to touch on before we go? Or I feel like we covered pretty much everything I get asked.
I know, yeah. I think it's a lot of times it's people don't think they have enough time. And so my question back to you is, how much time do you think it would take? You know, so you don't need 20 hours a week. You don't need 10 hours a week. You could do 1 hour a week, you know. Again, it's what you put into it is what you get out of it. And you can do a lot in an hour. You know, I know a lot of women that do a lot more, you know, in an hour. And oftentimes I think the busier you are, the more productive you are. So if there's even a twinkling of you thinking, I might want to do this, but I don't know if I have time for it, you need to reach out to Christina, and we need to have a chat, because you will probably do really, really well with this if you're busy.
And it's like, you're selling an amazing product, right? But you don't even have to, like, you can weave it into your life. Like, if somebody's saying they don't have time, I'm like, well, do you talk to your friends? You know, like,
exactly.
Yeah. Do you talk to your family? Like, it just naturally comes up, you know, like,
totally.
When I'm walking with my friends, and we always talk about, oh, I found this new mascara that I love, you know, or like my mom, I'm like, Mom, you need to try this shampoo. It's not work. You know,
no,
just
it's not. I mean, if you're taking a picture of your coffee to post on Instagram, you know, then you can take a picture of your foundation to post on Instagram, or, you know, to whatever level that is for you. So, it's, you know, and like I said, I'll be the first to admit there was that part of me that was like, oh, I don't want to be this, like, cheesy salesperson. I don't want to be whatever connotation I had in my head of what that was. We just, hells to the no, are not that a Beautycounter by any means. It's really, it's a lot of fun. And the cool thing is, like, you're talking about stuff that we're all using.
Yeah. And you can run your business any way you want and be part of an amazing movement, an amazing cause, because it's like, yeah, we're fighting for better beauty, but we're really fighting for better just health. You know?
Totally.
I mean, that's what it is. And better regulate, like, safety in general for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, the best thing that could happen is that all of us run out of a job, right? Because this is like a mute point. Sadly, I think it's going to be, I don't know if that will ever happen. But, and the great thing is, well, then that's cool. We still have high performing products. So we won't be having to focus on the safety as much. We'll just be able to talk about how cool the products are. But, yeah.
So let's talk about so when people hear this information and they think, okay, how do I support this? Like, how do I support getting the beauty industry regulated? I mean, talking about how they can do that.
Totally.
Yeah.
There are like 4 ways, maybe even more. I can list off ways you can get involved. So the easiest, quickest thing you can do that would take you 10 seconds. And Christina, I'm assuming you can maybe add this on at the end of the podcast, but I just don't have it memorized. But that phone number for people to text.
I'll put it in the show notes so people can just read
Awesome.
it. Yeah.
So that right there, send a message to your local representative saying that you want better health protective laws. That'll take you a minute. One, we use the hashtag switch to safer. So, what we spend our money on speaks volumes, right? So, buying safer products. You can become a Band of Beauty member. It's $29. So if you're like, I love the products, and I really want to support this movement, you should become a Band of Beauty member for $29, which that $29 goes to one of the 3 nonprofits that Beautycounter supports, one is Environmental Working Group that we've talked about. One is Healthy Child, Healthy World, which advocates for children who, as a child can't advocate on their behalf. And then Breast Cancer Fund, which is a fantastic nonprofit looking to just stop breast cancer, figuring out the cause for breast cancer and just get rid of it. So that $29 goes to them. And then as a Band of Beauty member, you get free shipping every time you spend $100 or more. So the $5.95 shipping is waived. You get 15% back in product credits, which is awesome. So if you spend $100, you save $5.95 and you have $15 to use towards a future product purchase. As well as there's perks and delights throughout the year and a free gift with sign up as a Band of Beauty member, which right now is our #1 brightening oil that won a Best of Beauty award from Allure magazine. And that's a $68 value that you get for free. So that's a really great thing. And then, if you're like, I love what I'm hearing, and if you've tried the products or not, and you're like, I think I want to talk about becoming a consultant, then you would definitely want to reach out to Christina and learn more about the consultant opportunity so you could see if that's a good fit for you or not.
Yes. Love all of that. And I get so giddy about all the new launches, and the holiday sets right now that are out are insane. Like, I think every single person I talk to, I tell they need to get an Ultimate Nudes palette, like, immediately.
Oh my gosh. It's like groundbreaking how cool it is. And the fact that it's safe is amazing.
Yeah. And like, definitely check out the holiday sets because there's literally something for everybody. If you want, like, the body washes, the bar soaps, amazing, and you can get stuff for your kids and Counterman is sold out, but definitely.
Yes, but you know what? Men love the charcoal bar. It is amazing. I cannot tell you how many male clients I have that buy the charcoal bar and just are obsessed with it. So we have a great set right now with the charcoal bar and the charcoal mask, which is a really fun thing to get, that dapper dad or guy in your life.
Or anyone with skin issues. My cousin, I actually just got him to start using the charcoal bar, and he said it cleared his acne.
It is. It's and it's unfortunate. A lot of the ingredients, even in acne products, are kind of contributing to the acne problems, I think. So when you just can get really clean ingredients, that sometimes is just half the battle. And then, regulating your hormones, which we don't want to add hormone disrupting ingredients, to skin that's already having hormone issues. So, there's some great stuff. And, dependent upon what your skin issues needs are, that's where, working with a consultant is so great to help you get the right products.
Exactly. Okay. And then last question. So if somebody's brand new to this and they're like, I don't know what product to try first, what would you recommend?
Oh, man. Well, it so depends on what you're looking for. Like we just said, the charcoal bar, I feel like, just about everyone loves that product. I think the only person that doesn't need the charcoal bar is someone with super, super dry skin, that may not be a good fit for you. But I'm obsessed with our Counter Match. That whole line, it uses biomimicry technology. It has changed my face. I'm obsessed, obsessed, obsessed with the moisturizer, the sleep recovery cream, the hydrating serum. It's phenomenal. And that's just great for all skin types. So,
yes. And I would say those, I agree with that. And then also all of the shampoos and conditioners.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, awesome. Well, thank you so much for talking with me today. I'm really excited for you.
So fun.
Yeah.
No, I love you, Christina, and I have to give you a shout out. I just think you're so ahead of your time in how much you're trying to help educate people from a healthy living standpoint on so many, like we talked about, all these different factors. It's not just what you eat. It's not just what you put on your skin. It's so important. And I love that that's what you're pushing to help your audience understand and be that support and provide those resources to them. So I really appreciate that you wanted to have me today. And I love that we got connected, as I love your friendship too.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm going to tear up. No, I'm so appreciative of you and everything you've taught me through this whole process. Like, I don't know. I always think, like, it was like a year ago now that you reached out to me.
Yeah.
And who would have thought that we'd be here today,
Oh,
so, yeah. If anybody wants to reach out to you or find you, what's a good way to get a hold of you? If they have questions.
Well, my Instagram account that's blowing through the followers. I'm Nicole Marie Christensen. Or you can email me at NicoleChristensen@outlook.com. And it's NicoleChristensen.
Awesome. I'll put that in the show notes too. Okay. Well, thank you so much again for coming on, and I will talk to you again soon.
Awesome. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay. Thank you, Nicole, for coming on the show. I had so much fun talking to her as usual. I love her so much. She's an incredible human. And you guys should definitely reach out to her if you have any questions. And you can also always reach out to me. You can email me at addictedtolovely@gmail.com. And I'm always happy to answer any questions. And if you want to shop with me as your consultant, you can go to beautycounter.com/Christina Rice. And if you need recommendations for any products or any questions, if you want to learn more about the consultant opportunity, if you want me to be your mentor, if you want to join my team with Nicole, then reach out to me. I would love to talk to you about this. I'm so passionate about this whole movement. And as usual, all information that you need will be in the show notes, all of Nicole's info, how you can reach out to your representatives to try and help us with this movement towards safer beauty and personal care products. So I hope you guys liked that. I hope you learned a lot. And make sure you leave a rating and a review on iTunes. If you haven't already, make sure you join our Facebook group, Actually Adultish Podcast Nation. We'd love to see you in there. And I'll talk to you guys again next week. Bye.